Hello! Today I've done a spring look using only 5 products, which was a bit of a challenge, but I think it worked out pretty good. I wanted to do something that made me think of spring, which is like a rosy sort of glow. And then I also wanted to touch a little bit on a trend that's coming up for spring, which is this very sort of sheer goldeny hued eye. And it's really simple to create, so if you want to see how to do it, then just stay tuned. Alright, in order to be able to do this look in 5 products, I'm going to have to multitask a little bit. So I've chosen a foundation that's the highest in coverage, and it's my Kevyn Aucoin Skin Enhancer in SX05. And I'm going to use this mixed with just a little bit of my moisturizer in order to sheer it out for an all-over coverage, but it's also so dense that I can use it in its full form as a concealer. This would work with any full coverage foundation. You can add primer to it or moisturizer to it, anything that you've already got, sunscreen even, to dilute it, and then you'll get a more sheer kind of natural coverage. This is just the highest coverage one I have, so that's why I'll be using it. Alright, so I've just mixed that up with a little bit of moisturizer on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use my beauty blender in order to really melt this into the skin. This application technique might take a little bit longer than just slapping it on with your hands or even a brush, but because it's got that moisture, it's really going to help to meld that into the skin so it doesn't look cakey, which can often happen with high coverage foundations. I'm also going to use that on my eyelid to cancel out any veins or discoloration, and also to give my shadows something to hold on to. Alright, I'm just going to use it in its truest pure form here without diluting it or mixing it to cover any blemishes, which I've got a few kind of lurking in and around. So I'm just taking a little tiny brush with that, and I'm just going to do pinpoint concealing on those areas. And I'm going to do the same thing under the eyes, but I'm just going to use the pointy end of the Beauty Blender to do that. Alright, that's the base done. I'm going to move on to the eyes next, and because this is a spring look, it's very light, very fresh, and kind of what's been seen on the runways so far for the fashion weeks is a golden sheer sort of eye. So I'm going to use this bronzer duo from Joe Cosmetics, Joe Fresh Cosmetics, which you can get at Superstore, and I'm going to use this for my eyes and for my face, so big time double duty with this one. I'm going to begin by taking this darker matte shade and bringing that all over the lid, making sure there's no creasing from that concealer, because if I put the shadow on when there's creases, it'll just lock that right in. So I'm starting by taking that all over the lid, and then I'm just going to blend it up into the crease. So you want the most intensity right at the lash line here, and then it just kind of blends away, but it still does that little bit of shaping to give the eye some shape. And I'm just going to build until I'm happy with the intensity. And then all I'm going to do is take the lighter, more shimmery shade on the other side, the golden tone, and I'm going to start by using the same brush again and just putting that right over the lid with the brush, mostly to that inside corner and right in the center of the lid. And then often I like to take a little bit on my finger and just dab it on. You'll get a little bit more intensity that way often. So you can see it just kind of gives like a nice golden shimmer. Next, I'm going to take a pencil brush and do the same thing underneath the eye with the matte shade first. And I'm bringing that all the way underneath, nice and big. And then I'm going to take the shimmery shade on that same brush, but I'm just going to take that on the inside corner and the inner third. And then I like to go in with a nice big clean fluffy brush and make sure everything's all nicely blended. So that was product number 2, and for 3 I gotta go with a little eyeliner. So I'm taking my MAC Kohl pencil in Teddy and I'm going to take that on the waterline. I'm not being shy with it on that waterline. I'm also going to take it to the upper waterline. And then lastly for the eyes, my product number 4 is of course mascara. Can't live without. So I'm going to curl my lashes. And the mascara I'm using today is the Maybelline Rocket Volume Express Mascara. And I'm going to take that on the lower lash line as well. For the brows, I'm simply going to wipe through them with the sponge so there's no product, and then just give them a little brush through. I'm going to finish the other eye and zoom out so we can complete the rest of the face. So the 5th product I'm going to be using is a cream blush, and that's going to double duty for my cheeks and my lips. And the color I'm going to use is Rose by Stila, and this is one of their convertible colors. This is just my artist palette that I've recently got and am in love with. So I'm going to use a brush. You could use your finger for this. I'm going to pop that on the apples of the cheeks. And I'm just going to keep buffing that into the skin until it looks really natural and gives that rosy glow. Cream blush can look a little scary at first when you put it on, but it really does blend and move around, and you can use your fingers. And if you feel like it's gotten way out of control, go back in with your sponge and just go over top. Going to finish off the face now by taking that same bronzer, and I'm going to use just the matte side to begin. And I'm going to use that kind of as a contour. So right under the cheekbones and into the hairline. And then using the same brush, I'm going to take the golden shimmery shade and use that as a highlight on the high points of my face. So on top of the cheekbone, a little bit through the center of the forehead and down the nose, on the chin. If you're not really into the whole contour and highlight thing, or you find it confusing, you could just swirl your brush all together in there, knock off the excess, and just bring it onto the tops of the cheekbones, the forehead, the nose, pretty much anywhere the sun would hit in like a true bronzer placement application. The last thing I'm going to do is take that exact same color I used on the cheek, pick it up on my finger, and really work it into the lip. So you could throw a gloss on top of there just to prevent the lips from feeling a little bit dry, because there isn't a lot of moisture in the cream cheek product, because it is intended more for the cheek and not to slip around too much. I'm fine with it like this, but if you love gloss, then go for it. So this is my completed look. I hope that you found something in there useful and that you enjoyed, and come back again for something new. Thanks. Bye-bye.